So he is a leader in the UMass Boston in sex education, and he received so many legal awards. It's a long list. So I'm going to talk about the most the prestigious one. Okay. So basically, the National Sex Board Public Service Award. So let's give him a big applause.
Okay, great. So I was on a plane recently going to California, 5-6 hour flight, and this person sitting next to me, before we left the tarmac, he said, "Do you want to play a game?" I said, "Something different." But he said, "It's a good game." I said, "No, I really have work to do. I want to read." And then for about 15, 20 minutes, the flight lead said, "It's really a good game. I kind of think it that I just tell you the rule." I said, "Sure." He said, "You ask me a question. If I ask you a question, I ask you a question. If you don't know the answer, you need $10. Then you ask me a question. If I don't know the answer, I give you $10. I said, "Yeah, I'm not interested. I do it." And then another half hour passes, and he said, "I'll change the rule." I said, "What do you do?" He said, "If I ask you a question, if you don't know the answer, give me $10. Then you ask me a question, and I don't know the answer, I give you $50. I said, "I'll play that." You know that. So he said, "What's the height of the Eiffel Tower?" No, I reached my pocket, I give him $10. And then I said, "It's your turn." I said, "What's the difference between a mammal and a virus?" And he said, "Oh," and he's 15 minutes and he's all big now. And then finally he said, "The plane had the internet. You might play the internet." I said, "Don't go ahead, use the internet." So another half hour, I'm getting my work done. And then he finally says, "Okay," and he gives me $50. And I said, "Thank you." He said, "So?" I said, "So what?" He said, "What's the answer?" I reached my pocket, I gave him $10. My turn again. T.S. Eliot said, "Where is the knowledge we have lost in information?" The information is so cheap now, it's so accessible, it's so easy. In my day, I think that everybody here has experienced open book tests and closed book tests. And an open book test, you ask different questions you do for a closed book test. But I've been wondering for a number of years now, what should open internet tests look like? Since we have the internet 24/7, how do we change our questions so we can understand and test knowledge when you have the internet? And now, of course, the question is, what if they're open ChatGPT tests? What changes? What do we have to look for? What do we have to ask? So again, T.S. Eliot, where's the knowledge we most in? Let's look on great communicators to figure out what knowledge we should share. Richard Feynman, great physicist of the 20th century, was a 5th grader, 4th grader, went over to his cousin's house who was in junior high school. And he said, 3x plus 2 equals 14. Feynman said, "What is that?" And his cousin said, "Oh, it's algebra. You have to find out what x is." And he looked at it and said, "X is 4. And the cousin said, "That's right, but you have to use algebra." And Feynman realized, no, there's no such thing as algebra. There's just find x. Well, we teach this algorithm to subtract 2 side by 3, and the algorithm allows you to bypass understanding. So if I get the answer without understanding what's going on in the math. Math is not algorithms. Math is going beyond zero. It's human claims desire to learn more. So when we were in 3rd grade or 2nd grade, subtraction, 12 minus 3, 9 minus 4, 17 minus 9. And maybe some students said, "What about 3 minus 15? The teacher said, "Oh, no, the big number always comes first." And in fact, historically, the big number always came first until somebody said, "I'm going to net negative numbers." That's what math is. Well, we have square roots. Square root of 9, the square root of 16. And then somebody said, "What about the square root of that negative 25? Oh, no, you can't do that. Square root show me negative numbers. Until somebody invented imaginary numbers. So you're going to square root of 20 minus 25. What is science? It's certainly not Einstein sitting in the board saying equals mx squared equals mv squared. Oh, mc squared, I got it. I once had a conversation with a principal, elementary principal, and she was telling me all the kids have to learn the order of the planets, like Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter. I said, "You're the instructional leader of the school, that's fine. But when you teach them that, please don't do it during science time." They said, "Why not?" I said, "It has nothing to do with science. It has nothing whatsoever to do with science." As Sagan said, science is a way of thinking much more than is a body of knowledge. What is art? Well, in the 12th, 13th century, art's very flat. And then during the Renaissance, we discovered perspective. And we learned how to make paintings on two-dimensional surfaces that look three-dimensional. And that became art until the 20th century, when people started saying, I'm going to use what we know about dimensions and explore new ways of making art. In retrospect, all of these advances are easy. The earth is round. The germ theory of disease. Art can be abstract. Beethoven stood steadily. And you're like, you back down, da-da-da. I could have done that. That's what I could have done that. That wasn't that hard. It was very hard. All of these things are very hard. And we must think about curriculum we teach, what we learn, as going beyond zero, because it's all new to our student. It was once new to everyone on earth. It took a great minds many, many years of that, and it's not common sense. It was common sense I wouldn't have to teach anything. So AI can do this. If I gave AI, I said, here's Providence, here's City, they're merging, give me a new logo. I don't think we'd come up with that design. And after the fact, I say, that's not so hard. I could have done that. But then I realized when chat gives me 10 ideas, how do I choose which is the best of the 10? What criteria do I use? When chat is my brainstorm front, I'm bringing my expertise to know. I'm not just saying, give me one, good enough. That's the fear. Everybody can say good enough, and our quality will degrade because we accept chat as, actually chat said it must be. We bring criteria to say which is the best of the 10. And then we have to be aware of the bias that ChatGPT has, because it's pulling from a lot of works which are very biased. So tell me about a doctor, and it's a white man. So there are reasons because the internet is biased. And then I think to myself, when I write a lesson plan, who should critique it? Who should pretend to be to critique it? So I say, here's my lesson plan. I want to know how it is. Did you have a top high school teacher look at it? Or do you have a university professor look at it and give me comment? Or pretend you're Einstein and give me comment. You'll get different results all the time. Where you can say, you're Cillian Murphy, you were using Oppenheimer, you must go study about this. And continue. And you'll get different responses. So who do you ask? Who do you pretend? Who do you ask the PT pretend to be when you ask for information? So I don't know much about Avengers and Tony Stark and Iron Man, but I do know this. Tony Stark is pretty incredible as a person. He's a genius inventor, highly intelligent, great physical strength. And then he puts on this suit that he made, and he becomes Iron Man. A powerful superhero with superhuman strength, like women. So you don't have to be Tony Stark so that AI can be your suit. And you have to learn. That's what it's about. You want to be Iron Man? Then it's cool, this ChatGPT and AI. But the thing is to learn more. So T.S. Eliot said, where's the knowledge we have lost in information? The internet may be able to give us all the information we need. LLMs and AI can, and maybe it may be able to give us all the knowledge we need. Where is the wisdom we have lost in knowledge? Another question gets ourselves. Where is the wisdom we have lost in knowledge? And for the wisdom, it's humans who will generate wisdom. Maybe.
Or before taking this class, I saw AI as a game changer because it could take over jobs and can be used in healthcare and finance. Learn outlets. I've seen AI apply in the real world. The companies have been using it in the software tools. And for the impact is on patient, AI made my studies easier. I use it to help me solve problems. And for future engagement, I bet use AI still for my learning tools. Yeah. So moving on to project, so our concept is a job kind of feature, where elements are kind of thing dealing with I thought to grow that was in shop big, but with guidance, you can make it what they happen. And so the reason is so we all been there, so we will go for applying for a job. We be certainly want expand our apply my for current on what a job hunting and searching for the job that we want to apply for. And sometimes it takes out to store more out then when you call your jobs website you write around first. And so for that with the advanced AI, so one of the AI has so that's why I was listening to like very medical system that understand your what big application, the skill and help you find a public then the solution and an AI agent that will in contact me. As for a workflow of the agent, step one is uploading your resume. Step two is step two is extract the typical keywords and skills. For tech people, it uses natural language processing such as SPACY and NLTK. And for a computation method, it uses NumPy. Step three is to have search queries based on the skills that was extracted. Step four is to use you need to input your set API key. So you can use Google APIs to search up job. Step five is to analyze and rank the job. And step six is to set like the job. So yeah, you just I upload my resume. Then I will extract skills, patient, and revenue. I'm in this channel. And you need your search API, this certain job. I think the get so I can search it. So I need to look in the game with like and now we should be able to find that. Dynamic shift. Yep, it actually the ranks words. It's not perfect, but yeah. Everyone for yours.
Well, hello everyone. So my name is Rami. So we are the Kendo group. So I'm gonna introduce you guys my fabulous team. Albany, Granathy, and Shauna. So we're gonna start off with our AI journey by myself, okay? Yeah, sure. So before I came to Professor Wading class AI for All, I only have knowledge of machine learning and I don't have knowledge about game. So this is the first time ever I start to learn to design a small game where I can set automatically AI control the spaceship and blending into the two yellow plane flags over there. And next, Avani gonna introduce his AI journey.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Avnet. So my AI journey, before joining this class, I was thinking AI is something like relating to, fake neural networks or fake data sets that you have to implement. And I was really nervous if I would be able to do it or not. But after joining the class, it was actually fun and I enjoyed a lot in this class. So what particularly stood out to me is coming to reinforcement learning. So I made this game where, my agent learns to jump up and down and, move all obstacles. So I'm thinking using this in the future, maybe I can train my own robot maybe. So that's what I was thinking on doing. My age level. And thank you, Professor Deng, for hosting the class. Yep, that's my vision. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shauna Barry, and I'm somebody that comes from a games background in studying in the School for Political Food and Social Development. And what I learned in this course is really pattern world that bridge AI and real world impact. So with my kind of humans around me, they helped me really take some of the concepts that I've been working on and that are inspired by my other two experience and bring it the tech piece to it and the AI piece to it. So in the classroom, we worked on the parent compass, which is here to help single parents like myself down to everything, school, work, children, family, and They use predictive integrated model, the chatbot feature. The second is Kibo, which tackling my own childhood development experience and meeting the circle of care where they are using Sesame content. And then finally, outside the classroom, I've been working on About to Play, which is an app, an AI-driven platform based in Rwanda that uplifts homemade toys and celebrates caregiver creativity with the local grounded solution that could have global impact. And my poster is in the back there if you want to take a look at it, or you can scan my QR code. But overall, this course has showed me that AI isn't a tool, it's a replicate everything should happen.
Most relevant class in my journeys. One of mine was the first group project I ever worked and presented, and it quickly became my favorite. What I love most about this class is it combined technology learning with human-centered thinking, where it's just not about coding, it's about combining all technical and non-technical people. And I have met great mentors, and we go through many topics which I have never been thinking. Thank you for sitting for this class. And coming to our course, our project mainly focuses on how CNN will improve basically research model and then AI used to understand images. It performs when we train on data from different sources. This method is like a mixing of methods and textbook examples to create practice. It kind of smaller models learn faster and work well. And coming to the knowledge distillation is like having a top student explaining a hard topic in a simpler way to classmates instead of learning everything the long way. And why is it important? So our major reason to choose this project is how surprisingly easy it can be copied or to steal an AI model which was developed for years. Like our project is built for protecting this.
So it's actually built several experiments testing different types of databases. So for our project, our teacher model was built by our faculty mentor through this year in a row. Right there, thank you. And it already understood how to recognize 10 specific categories of images. So to train this, to train the student model, we created images from those same 10 categories, collected from 4 sources: Google, Bing, Stable Diffusion version 2, and Stable Diffusion 3. And we used code generated by ChatGPT and ran it through Python to build this data set. Our main question was how effectively can student models learn from the teacher model when trained on different data sets. Thanks.
All right, so now we come to our methodologies. So actually we conducted 13 experiments, and it's ranging from small data sets, medium data sets, and large data set, and it's corresponding to 1,000 images for small, 5,000 images for medium, and 10,000 images for large data sets. And we used 4 different data sources from Google, Bing, Stable Diffusion version 2, and Stable Diffusion Medium version 3. And this is the interesting 5 things before we walk everyone through this result. As you can see from the left-hand side, we gotta have the small data set, and over there, which is large data set, which is the highlights for this result. And you see all of the lights look white over here, which is the student start learning from the scratch. It means that the student model doesn't know anything. And the dark white is about students learn from teacher model and mimic their behavior. The most surprising results from the small data set, as you can see, is the combinations of Google, Bing, and color augmented images. So as you can see, from 14%, it's gonna increase 61%.
And this is our website. You can scan the QR code to see more findings and results and how the queries we use. You can also go to the results and check how our experiments like.
And we can also scan the barcode to go to our website. Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much for everyone come to our presentation, especially shout out to Professor Waiting to make us shy today. And thank you speaker, mentor, and everyone in training, as well as a teaching assistant for this class. Thank you very much.